Alrighty, welcome back to part 2. In this part, we are going to be actually addressing the headliner and the roof accessories, things like the fan, lighting, etc. If you joined us for the previous part, we just finished the subfloor for the van, so we're all ready to put down our flooring. We're going to postpone that for a while since we don't want to get that flooring dirty or scratched up. The next thing we're going to tackle is the headliner. Now, to do that, there's going to be a variety of things that we want to do, like removing some of these side paneling to be able to drop the headliner. The headliner itself, I don't fully remove it all the way to the front because it involves removing a lot of trim all the way up to the front of the vehicle since the whole thing is one entire piece. But essentially we're going to be dropping it several inches down to be able to gain access above it, to be able to cut the hole out for the fan, all the way to installing cameras, exterior lighting, this and that, all the way to dropping it just a little bit in the front as well. In this one, we're going to be installing a solar panel, a fan, exterior lighting, so stick around to see that. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Okay, to start this whole thing, the very first piece we're going to take out is actually this rear trim panel right here. You got the seatbelt right here for the third row seats. We're going to be just cutting this right off. This has a connector right here for the little light fixture. And then I'm going to be numbering these in sequence so that when I want to put them back, I'll be putting them back in reverse order. Next up will be the upper panels right here on this wall. And we'll just start off with, again, removing the seatbelt since we'll never need it again. This grocery bag holder piece, you just got to pop out this bit and then it slides out right here. There's one on each side. That's going to loosen this panel, and we'll go ahead and remove this one now. So to gain access to this one here, you got to pop out this wall panel first. This van specifically has a speaker here, so there was a wire that needed to be disconnected. Number 2, since this is the second panel I took off. Now when removing these panels, the main technique is just to pull forward, and then we want to check that these white connectors came out with it. So there's one here, one here, one here, and then this one right here actually remained. So what I'm going to do is actually get it and reinsert it so that when I want to install this back, it's going to be installed properly. This is the white connector right here, and then I'm going to slip it in here so that when I install the piece back, it just gets pushed right in. There's one more trim piece right here, which I sometimes remove if I'm doing the camera system, but in this case, I can pop out the headliner just enough to come past that. This panel is going to remain halfway kind of loose since I don't really need to take it all off. Plus, to take it off would require some other components to be removed, which I just don't need to remove those. One last thing that I'm removing here to make lowering the headliner easier is actually this ductwork that connects from the blower that's built into the side of the wall right here. That goes up into the vent in the headliner. And then we'll label this so that we make sure we put it back in there just the way we got it out. Then we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side as well. Now that we got some of the upper rear paneling off, we're going to go ahead and move forward with loosening more of the components that is holding up the liner, which includes these grab handles right here. So a little flathead screwdriver is going to be the trick for this. You're looking to remove these two components that then is able to pop it out. Going to label it from which side it came from, and then move on to the center right here. The climate control center cluster right here. That mainly needs to be popped out because there are 2 plastic clips right here that are holding it, that when we drop the ceiling, those will pop out as well. And then when we want to put it back, we just need to push here and then be able to put that right back. Same on the other side. Okay, now that we have some of this upper trim down, the grab handles taken apart, we are just about ready to drop the headliner. So we are still attached all the way in the front. So our goal is really just to drop this a few inches. So I have a bungee cord here and a hole in the frame, and then I'm gonna hook it up on this other side too. And then this is gonna help us so that when we do drop the headliner, it doesn't put a lot of strain from up there. The very last thing to get it loose is we have a few more little clips right here, these pins, something like that. And we have one more thing we need to address, which is this electrical connector right here, along with this water hose for the wiper on the rear. These 2 are going to stay here, and then these are part of the headliner. And one last thing is going to be this water hose right here. There's going to be a little bit of dripping, just a few drops. And now we're ready for the headliner to come down. The very last thing that is still holding is going to be the light, but once we pop that loose, Now the headliner is essentially all loose all the way up to the sunroof in the front. And then the bungee cord is holding it enough for us to be able to get access underneath it. And then the first thing we're gonna do here to gain even better access is to cut out the hole for the fan. And that's gonna allow us to get in here a little better as well. So coming from the back door to the roof, this is one that we already have done, but this is an example of what we're trying to do. We got 100-watt solar panel up there, and then the fan right back here. So then jumping over back to the van that we're working on, this is what we're working with. We're gonna have the fan as far back as we can to this antenna right here. So then I'm measuring about 33 inches from the very back of the van to the trim to the front here. Let me give you an idea of how that's gonna look like. So this is the trim piece for a Max air fan, the deluxe model. I think they're all the same. Keeping in mind the way it overhangs back here, and we want to get it as close as we can to that antenna. So me pulling all the way from the back at about 33 inches and a half to the face of the trim right here. So then from there, the way I like to cut out my holes is I'll mark my hole, go just a little bit bigger with the blue tape, give myself a few good layers of tape so that we don't scratch the paint. And then from here, we're going to go back underneath to prep for cutting out the metal. Now, one of my techniques that I've developed is having a big box to catch all the metal shavings for an easier cleanup. So what we're going to do here is I have this big, huge, like 24 by 24 inch box right here from some skylight. I'm going to sneak this right above the headliner right here. I'm going to get it kind of where I want it up on top. And that's going to be able to catch all the metal shavings. And then also the metal piece, when it falls in, it's going to fall right into the box. Okay, just like that. Okay, right at the beginning of my cut, I ended up moving back just a little bit because we are going through a framing structure here, which we're cutting out, and then we're reframing the opening for the window to make up for that, plus helps with structural things later. But we are cutting that piece right there. So we end up moving back just to be able to be right at the edge of it, so we get a nice clean cut. So for, like I mentioned, a Max Air fan, the actual cut hole is 13.75 or about 14. You'd even make it just a hair bigger than 14, just so that you don't have any fitment issues. So we're sitting at 14.5 right here. So then pulling from the back to get a final layout and where we went with it. So for our final location, we're sitting at 17 from the rear and then up to 32, and then just centered with the van, of course. So before we get to primering and drilling the holes as well, there's a few other accessories that we'll do on the roof as well for the solar, some exterior lights. So then once we have all of our accessories done, we will then go through and primer all of the cut metal so that we don't get any rusting. Going to get our holes pre-drilled now as well. We'll get a screw in one side and the other so that it stays in place, then we can pre-drill all of our holes. Now that we have the hole cut out in the ceiling, we are gonna be able to just push the headliner back up and then transfer those dimensions in that location to the headliner as well. And you're gonna notice that it's gonna come out right where this light fixture was, which we don't really want that light fixture anymore anyway. Okay, now with this hole in the liner, we are able to actually have more access now to be able to run some electrical for our lighting, the fan, exterior lights. In other vans, we do the cameras all around the whole system. And right here, we have pretty nice access once we drop the headliner again to be able to run wiring up above the headliner. Okay, a quick pro builder tip for installing the fan. For example, the Max Air fan has this trim kit that goes with it. I'm not sure if a lot of people just screw this straight into the sheet metal and call it done. I like to take this opportunity to add extra reinforcing between my ceiling and then the sheet metal of the roof. So when I'm screwing this down, I actually want to screw it down into something like framing member. What I like to use for that is actually something like this called a PVC board. This is a 1x2. You can get it at your local hardware store. What I like about this has a lot of flex to it to be able to follow that curve. It has a lot of flex this way, not that much this way, but this is actually how I'm going to be installing mine. So that when I install this, it's gonna get screwed into this, and then I'll have long screws coming in from the top into it. And then also when I'm installing my ceiling, I have these screws going into here as well. The trim piece underneath is gonna hide those screws, so it's a perfect opportunity to do a lot and then not have it that very visible when it's all said and done. You're gonna see me installing those in between the headliner and the sheet metal of the roof. roof. Now, to really make that work very well, we don't want to rely only on screws, even though I use long screws since this is a plastic-based product. I use a premium adhesive that actually adheres very well to metal and this product as well. So something like this Loctite PL3X Premium cures very nice and hard and also attaches to this material very well. So a combination of this adhesive plus screws is going to give us a very strong insulation. It's going to be very rigid. And then with the flexibility of this, it's going to allow us to contour to that ceiling. Here's kind of what I mean about that. So I have this temporarily holding into the sheet metal from the top, and then the headliner in this case is going to come right to the bottom, and that's going to just sandwich it all together, giving us proper spacing and then also something rigid to screw onto it and then help the headliner stay in place as well. I have some wiring coming down. We have wiring for our lighting, our bed system, since we're going to have the electrical here, some wiring going behind this panel, back in the rear of the vehicle next to the vehicle battery right here. We have a lot of electrical that's coming down into here where we're going to have our electrical station, and then going up along here, and I'm not sure all that you can see up here, but we have a lot of electrical coming into here all the way there. And then above the headliner, I also added some 1/2-inch backing so that when we want to screw our ceiling into the headliner, we'll have something to hold it a little better. Also some up here as well. Not sure again if you'll be able to see it, but this is ultimately what we've been able to get done is our electrical system, our electrical wiring for everything up here that's necessary. And then now let's jump up on the ceiling and see what else we have going on. Up on the roof, we have our solar input gland. So we just have one hole here with the wires going through it, and then it's going to get silicone underneath it, screwed down, and then also waterproof ceiling on top. So 2 layers worth of waterproofing. And then from here, a solar panel to be maintainable, as in like if you need to take it off, change it or anything like that, you always have your MC4 connectors right here. Right behind it is going to be the fan. So next up is going to be to install this trim piece right here for the fan. We'll be able to wire it all up, get a lot of waterproof sealant around that as well. And then once that's done, we'll get our 100-watt solar panel up here as well. And then that'll be a wrap for the roof accessories. I'm going to give you a quick preview of actually the van that we have right next to it that we're working on, because we have the solar panel installed here. That's a 100-watt solar panel. And also what I just want to show you really quickly is a few other features that cameras all around. So we have the side cameras, a rear camera, even a WeBoost antenna right there, and then also the camera in the front. And overall, when you're looking at the van, you're going to see everything is very nice and low profile. So once in a while when I'm talking with clients and picking out accessories, they express their concern about having a roof accessory or cutting a hole in the roof because they're concerned about water leaks. And what I tell them is if it's done incorrectly, yeah, you're going to have a leak eventually. But if it's done correctly by a professional where you have multiple layers of waterproofing, you should never have a water leak. So for example, we are doing 2 modes of waterproofing so that if one fails, the second one is as your backup. And then also, of course, with proper maintenance, you should never have a roof leak. So one of those products that we use is a self-leveling sealant, kind of like this one. What I really like about this, it's expensive for one, but it's also a very good sealant used for RVs, camper vans. And then this one really self-levels and really fills in any cracks, voids, etc. I've seen it even years after I had applied it on a van, and other than it being dirty, it was very good. You can always reapply it as well every year or so. So to take a look at how that actually works, we'll go ahead and talk around this solar gland inlet right here, and then we'll do even a little time lapse so you can see how it really levels out. We'll have it at above 60 degrees Fahrenheit or even warmer is nice. That'll help with the self-leveling aspect. Okay, I got the silicone underneath the trim piece for our first sealant, and then we're gonna go ahead and screw this down through the sheet metal into our 1.5-inch PVC trim that we have underneath. To do that, you're gonna really wanna sandwich it together to make sure there's no gap between the layers. So on this end where we have the framing piece, we did about 1.25 inch screws, and then over here, you could also have a framing member here if you need to. I don't on this occasion, so I'm just gonna use some 3/4 inch screws. These are again metal screws that have a pointed tip and a nice flat head to really apply a good amount of pressure. One spot that I see people underestimate is the screws. Don't forget to put sealant on your screws as well, because water can work its way underneath the screw and through the screw hole. So even if you get your perimeter, it's also good to get any fasteners that you have exposed. Helps with any rusting or oxidation in this case. Okay, to wrap up our roof accessories and our ceiling fan is now gonna go in, get wired up from the inside, screws on the exterior, and then next up will be the solar panel here. Then we'll finish the installation of that 100-watt solar panel. And then next up is gonna be our slat ceiling with the built-in LED lights, which we really love how this turns out. So let's check that out next. Alrighty, the solar panel finally came in. Gonna be going down something like that. So as you can see, I like to hide this part underneath the solar panel, that even though the PV wire is UV rated, I can still hide it. Helps with a little bit of weather protection, and then also keeps it out of the sun. Trying out this new 100-watt solar panel, which I really like. It has no edge, so it won't collect dust or water. The other thing about it, it's a little bit more compact. It's still a 100-watt, but what I can do, actually be able to fit it between the rails sideways, so that then I can have 100 watts and then 200 watts in total, because the next van build is actually gonna have 200 watts. So I needed to test out the idea of being able to do 200 watts. So with the fan and 200 watts and a moonroof, you can consider all the real estate up here fully taken. So a couple of other little quick points on installing the solar panels. On the brackets, I add double-sided foam adhesive, so that when I'm gonna install it, I'm gonna peel this back and then screw it in. So then this is also providing one layer of waterproofing. And then of course, we'll also have the sealant that's gonna give us our final layer of waterproofing. So I know that we're putting some additional holes in the roof, but with the 2 layers of waterproofing will be good. Another option is to, if you're installing it this way, you can use the roof rails to tie into those. That typically does require very custom built brackets to do that. Very good planning. Wouldn't really be able to put one up here, but this is the next best option, is to be able to have these just solar panel mounting brackets that you can install. You can get those for really cheap as well, and they work great. My professional opinion about flexible solar panels or anything else that is adhesive or stuff like that, I'm not really a big fan of those. For one, they're really pricey, and when they start to heat up, which they will because there's no ventilation underneath, they're just gonna lose efficiency drastically. So especially with this thing just baking in the sun, the best thing you can do is go with a rigid solar panel that gets ventilation underneath and still can work efficiently. And then of course, with the way we're installing it like this, we're staying very low profile. We're just barely 2 inches off the roof. You could go the extra mile and have a little bit of an angle piece here for a little more aerodynamics, but we're just kind of tying in the aerodynamics with the fan, so hardly going to be noticing any fuel efficiency differences. So go ahead and get this guy installed here. Okay, so we're on the driver's side on this column right here, and this is just an example of the planning that is required behind one of these builds. So right here I have 6 wires coming into one location, and that's going to feed the 3 switches that we have right here. We have a dimmer for our interior lights, exterior lights, and then the switch for the bed to go up and down. So this electrical, I'm not going into the details exactly of every single wiring I'm running. That's going to be per use case. In some instances for us, it is the same wires, but this is just an example of the wiring that you need to run to be able to do your 12-volt accessories. Okay, so bonus little feature that I want to show you guys. They say that the details matter, and that is definitely true, especially in a micro camper van. So one feature that I want to show you is going to be right here, this USB port right here. There's 2 USB-Cs, and this comes with the van. It's right here by the cup holder at the 3rd row seats. The kind of issue with this is that when the vehicle is off and you're camping back here, it cuts power to these USB-C ports. So what I actually like to do is get in here behind this panel, pop it out. It has some tabs holding it into place, and then that gives me access to the wiring that it has right here. And it has a positive and a negative wire. And this is of course just simple 12-volt lighting, 12-volt power. So what I'm able to do is actually cut this off and be able to run power from my own auxiliary battery to be able to always have this powered on. And then in that case, whenever you're camping back here, you can just always have power here, always be able to connect your phone and not ever have to worry about the vehicle being on or this being shut off. You'll always just have power. Alrighty, we're wrapping up phase 2, where you saw how we did the ceiling, the roof accessories, etc. How we were able to drop down the headliner, do our electrical, cutting out the fan. Now that that's done, we installed our ceiling piece right here with the LED lighting. We have our switches. We started putting back some of the paneling. So then everything just kind of goes back the way you took it down. You got your handles, control unit here. Gonna finish putting back these paneling as well. And next up is actually gonna be our bed system. So stick around for phase 3, where we're gonna tackle the bed system. It's gonna be something that I've never seen before. I completely designed it and engineered it myself to have a fully automated bed system. That's what this awesome switch is for right here. And yeah, stick around to see phase 3, where we'll hit the bed, and then phase 4 we'll do the cabinet as well. So we'll see you on the next one.